Welcome, one and all, to the Stupid Hall of Fame. On our Dum Dum Deep Dive today, we've got cooking catastrophes and DIY disasters, as well as not-so-cunning criminals and brainless buffoons who found themselves stuck in the most bizarre of places. All this and so much more, and people doing stupid things, Part 4. Let's get dumb. Now, having worked on 3 previous episodes of this series, I'm quite the expert in stupid people, if I do say so myself. And as such, I've observed that a common trait amongst those with fewer brain cells is that they have a knack of getting themselves stuck in places. Take, for example, this teenage girl whose Halloween shenanigans resulted in her getting a trick as opposed to a treat.
Homemade caramel corn with marshmallows and with orange flavor.
I don't think it's happening.
I can do it.
Your nose you go.
I can carve
I'm gonna laugh if you
every
get
button. My pumpkin.
Are you stuck?
You should have put it there.
I did it.
Okay, Jason, help her lift it up. Oh, please be careful. Oh my crud.
I can carve a belly button
You are
on my
cooking.
pumpkin.
The pumpkin was in place, though as you'll soon see, the novelty quickly wore off when this squash became a bit of a squeeze.
You have your ponytail.
I can't get it out.
Here, Rachel, stick your head back in.
My head is in the pumpkin, dude.
Try tilting it down.
My head is literally in the pumpkin.
I know what to do.
Face in the pumpkin anymore.
Rachel, no.
Aw shucks, who could have seen that coming? Fortunately, after some trial and error maneuvering by her dad, this dummy managed to remove her head with the last few remaining brain cells intact. I imagine the inside of her head isn't too dissimilar to a pumpkin. Pure pulp. Back in 2018, 19-year-old Caitlin Strom was having the time of her life at the Winstock Music Festival in Minneapolis. Well, that was until she stumbled upon a car with an exceptionally large exhaust pipe. So large, in fact, she simply couldn't resist the idiotic urge to ram her hollow head into said exhaust pipe. Needless to say that such foolishness didn't come without consequences, as the fire brigade had to use a power saw to cut Caitlin free from the car. Having got her head stuck, used up valuable emergency service time, and caused damage to someone's vehicle, this Einstein hit a home run when she was then cited for underage drinking and removed from the festival. Her parents must be so proud. To a similar degree of stupidity, another teenage girl was forced to endure the humiliation of being jostled by firemen whilst her backside was wedged in a children's swing.
Oh, this is killing.
Just put some step chops on the structure of the bus if you want any further. And then we get the reset and cut from this side.
Hi.
Now the clip doesn't show whether they ever managed to free this bozo from her tire prison, meaning for all we know she may remain there hopelessly swinging in the wind and contemplating her life's decisions. Be that as it may, it's easy to see how someone might make the error of getting stuck in a swing. Getting a microwave stuck on your head, however, not so much. Allow me to explain. Back in December 2017, YouTube duo Jay and Ramel, aka TGF Bro, created a series called Extreme Christmas Calendar. The idea being that they'd have to complete ridiculous challenges daily from the Advent calendar. Only there came a day when Jay stepped up to the mark and did perhaps the dumbest thing I've ever witnessed. So dumb, in fact, I'll have to animate it for you in order for this video to not get demonetized. Jamie's decision for that day was to wrap his head in a plastic bag fitted with a breathing tube. He then placed his head into a microwave filled with quick-set spackling paste. What could go wrong? Though of course that stupidity was the whole point of this stunt. Eventually, as the cement-like paste dried and expanded, the flimsy breathing tube began to fail, and Jamie quickly began to panic. Consequently, the absolute numbskulls wasted valuable emergency services time as both ambulances and the fire department were called in to free his head after his friend's attempts to get him out failed miserably. He was fine and rather annoyingly faced no consequences. That was until the TGF Bro channel was later closed down for unrelated, repeated acts of dangerous idiocy. Good God, it's just so freaking stupid. Luckily, my content is such good quality that I don't need to pull silly stunts. Though who knows, maybe if you get me to 20 million subscribers, I'll start a fans-only page, if you catch my drift. So all the more reason to hit that subscribe button, right? Show some love to the like button too, and let me know down in the comments if you're enjoying the video so far. It's simply the smart thing to do. Anyway, we're not quite done with idiots getting themselves stuck in things just yet, as this genius is about to demonstrate.
Get away! Go on! Get your head out! Get your head out!
Connor.
Challenge line! Challenge line! And we haven't even left the airport.
Nothing smarter than young men at the airport on their way to their party vacation, right? This individual's excitement led to him getting caught in an idiot trap. Sorry, I mean his suitcase. Unfortunately though, this idiot trap didn't work well enough as he eventually managed to shimmy his way out. So unfortunately, humanity is not spared of any other dumb shenanigans this guy may get up to at his holiday destination. Speaking of so-called idiot traps, things can only go south when a numbskull comes into contact with a plunger. The suction is, as you'll see, a force way greater than the numbskull's self-control. Take a look for yourself. Yep, I'm afraid tens of idiots are affected by plungers every year. The hollowness of their heads due to a lack of brain makes it so that their heads are simply genetically more susceptible to becoming stuck to plungers. To sponsor an idiot, go to www.igotmyheadstuckagain.com, and together we can unstick one idiot at a time. But it's not just suitcase and plungers that are holding stupid people hostage, but even staircases too.
But I feel like it's about to get worse.
Are you really stuck?
It got worse though. It got worse though. And it's gonna get worse though. Crazy.
Oh my god.
I mean, how? How does this even happen? Stupid people really do be doing the most unexplainable stuff. Even more concerningly, turn your attention to this next dimwit who somehow wound up with his head stuck in a public trash can back in 2012. Now, according to reports, he was actually trying to retrieve his hat that he had accidentally tossed in there, but after becoming fatefully lodged in there, this helpless trash troll had to be rescued by the fire department. Interestingly, just 1 year later in 2013, British sculptor Mark Roberts created a series of statues which appeared to be people stuck in trash cans. I, for one, would like to think that the original trash man served as a muse in these sculpture creations. But now, before we move out of the realm of idiots getting stuck in places, I've got the best one yet. Please enjoy this young girl's performance of Shakira's Waka Waka, which took a regrettably wacky turn.
Wika. Okay. Samira mia, oh, oh, Samira mia. Samira mia, Sankare what? This is Africa. Samira mia, oh, oh, Samira mia.
Ah, bravo, bravo! I especially like the ad-lib screams at the end. Really gave a whole new feeling to the song. Jokes aside, if this girl were my daughter, I'm not so sure I'd be in a rush to get her out of there. It's honestly probably the safest place for her. The pea-brain fools of the world, however, are not only getting stuck inside things, but things stuck inside themselves. Stay with me here, it's not what it sounds like. What I mean is, take this girl for example who evidently couldn't even be trusted with a grape.
What do I freaking do? How do I go into my mom's room and tell her that I got a freaking grape stuck up my nose at almost 18 years old?
Can they not be trusted with anything? Not even a goddamn grape? Anyway, after some more forceful nose blows, this idiot eventually managed to get the grape out.
How do I... Kayla, I need...
Damn, imagine being so stupid that even grapes are a threat. Though it seems it's not just grapes that are putting stupid people in danger, but ice cream cones too. Yep, only a true idiot could get themselves into such a predicament. It appears that she shoved that cone in so ravenously that it locked her jaw in place, which is why I'm assuming she couldn't just bite down to free herself. Though I guess situations like this are to be expected from people who don't have the capacity to consider the consequences of their own actions. And to no one's surprise, TikTok's full of them. One such person includes TikToker Lissy Poo, who was attempting to follow some TikTok hack for hairbrushing but regrettably used the wrong type of brush.
Do you know how embarrassing it is to drive down the street with a hairbrush stuck in your head?
Guys, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I think this didn't go as she'd planned. After throwing a tantrum, not to mention idiotically filming herself driving, she enlisted the help of Mom and used pliers to cut out the brush.
So much sales of food. The one in which I remember that one because I know that.
Where's your dad live at?
I guess it really is true when they say beauty is pain. And if not pain, at least embarrassment, as this next woman who fell victim to sunburn and a lace front wig would probably tell ya. Take a look and you'll see exactly what I mean.
No, tell me why I was wearing a lace frontal because I had a long braid frontal install. Okay, let me show you guys a picture. I was feeling so cute until today when I took it off. Someone tell me what in the hell is this? What in the is this tan line? You guys, my frontal did me so dirty. What the is this? I'm suing.
Yikes, all that 5 head and still no brain inside to tell her to wear sunscreen. Sucks to be her. On the topic of terrible tans, a fake self-tan can be particularly problematic when in the wrong hands. Like for example this guy who sought after a golden glow but looked more like an orange demon after a regrettable viewing of perhaps one of the saddest films ever, My Sister's Keeper.
Oh my God. I don't think I made the right decision last night, girls. So I thought I'd put on My Sister's Keeper and I woke up like this. Little did I know that when I was crying my little heart out last night, little did I know I'd be waking up like this.
Oh well, ain't that a picture. Safe to say I don't think this is the glowing tan he had in mind, but it is nonetheless a striking look. In other self-tanning tragedies, this next woman was short of a tanning glove when she was applying her tan, so she grabbed the next best thing, her boyfriend's black socks. Only problem being she clearly forgot to mention this to him before he went ahead and wore the used socks all day.
Girls out there, I don't know if anyone's ever used a pair of socks to tan, but I didn't have a mitt. So I put 2 socks on my hand and I tanned with them. And yesterday, Dion went out and unfortunately put on that pair of socks.
Unfortunately, who uses socks to tan?
And
I mean, just imagine the fear of discovering that your foot had mysteriously turned a brownish green color. Another reason why you should always wash socks before wearing. You never know what a sock has been used for. But if the sickly hue of fake tan isn't quite bold enough for your taste, then perhaps pink is. Yep, back in 2017, a woman went viral on Twitter for her, let's say, flushed complexion. This being the result of her drenching her face in a bright pink poster paint on a whim, which she believed would wash easily off her skin. After all, she maintains how the bottle said, quote, washes easily off skin and out of most fabrics. Be that as it may, I doubt the manufacturer considered someone would be so dumb as to lather the stuff on their own face, and so this was the result of a lot of hard scrubbing. Ha! Looks totally fine, no problem at all. This was all shared in a tweet where she doubled down and threatened to see the manufacturer in court. Somehow, I don't think willingly covering your entire face in a product that is quite clearly advertised as poster paint is going to stand up well in court. Let's just hope she was at least smart enough for that to be a joke. When it comes to body modifications, though, things don't often turn out as planned. Particularly if one is, dumb. This, as we've seen in previous episodes, can be especially problematic when it comes to tattoos. And boy, have I got more in store for you. First up, this dirbrain who wanted the word weirdo tattooed on her knuckles, specifically spelled with the I before the E, which I hope I shouldn't have to clarify is the incorrect spelling. Take a look at what happened for yourself.
For you to do weirdo on my knuckles, please.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's W-E-I or and then O, right?
Nice.
Right?
You spelled it wrong.
What do you want to spell that? That's wrong.
Yeah, it is. It's W-I-E.
No, it's not. It's
yes,
E-I.
it is.
No, it's not. It's E-I.
I want it I-E. There's no way. You're spelling it incorrectly.
Bro, I promise you I'm not. If you want it misspelled, I will do it, but I know it's not I-E.
I want you to put dictionary. I don't want you to look at your phone. Go find a dictionary.
Nah, you're going to pick. Absolutely not. If you insist that's what it is, go ahead. It's not mine.
All right, cool. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Customer's always right, right?
Yeah, I'm going to look it up after it's done.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, God. Did you look at them yet? Can you check them out?
I mean, you spelled it wrong.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. No. I said that it was I said that it was this way, and you went behind my back without me looking. I don't.
You. Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. You happy that you got it the right way?
I hate the fact that I had to listen to you, but like.
Oh my. Are you coming back?
Oh, 100%.
All right, cool. I can't really fist bump you, so we're gonna go like that.
Damn, with that attitude, I would have given her the stupidly misspelled tattoo that she deserved. That said, my spidey senses are telling me that this one may be staged, so perhaps someone so insufferably dumb doesn't exist? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Dumb tattoos are a bountiful crop on the internet, so rest assured there are plenty more examples of legitimate idiocy. For example, sticking with the knuckle theme, this tough guy wanted the phrase, "you're dead" on his knuckles. You know, to presumably warn off the many enemies he has on the streets. But however street smart this fella might be, his book smarts ain't all up to scratch, as he evidently didn't know the difference between the possessive pronoun your and the contraction of you are. Speaking of word contraction catastrophes, another person intended to get Bon Jovi's song "It's My Life" tattooed on their arm. Though what they ended up with was, "It's is my life," as in, "It is my life." And to make matters worse, the quote was signed off as not Bon Jovi, but John Bovi. Whoever that is. This has got to be a joke, right? Even if so, that's some serious commitment to the bit. Now, our parents do a lot for us, so it's natural to want to show them some appreciation. Which is why this girl got a tattoo in honor of her mom, letting her know that she is her Angle? Oh, isn't that sweet? Jokes aside, it's kind of a slap in the face to the mom, like, "Hey mom, you did such a good job of raising me that I'm too dumb to know the difference between angle and angel." But I guess none of this matters, as according to this guy's tattoo, only God can fudge me. I mean, no fudgements from me, I'm a good Christian boy and all, but I'd rather prefer if God didn't fudge me. Unlike the other tattoos, this seems not to be a case of misspelling, but the choice of calligraphy makes the J look like an F. Good going, tattoo artist. Now God and the whole internet are both judging this guy. Moving on, and besides the bedroom, the kitchen is probably the room in the house where the most stupid mistakes are made. And while cooking isn't for everyone, with a bit of common sense you can just about get by. For the empty-headed, however, cooking can be difficult, to say the least. Just check out this dummy who completely melted her plastic chopping board after turning on the wrong burner. Have fun scraping all that melted plastic off the stove once it hardens. Likewise, this next numbskull clearly mistook this wired kettle for a stovetop kettle as they tried to heat it directly on another filthy stove. Weirdly, it appears that melting kettles on stovetops has become somewhat of an epidemic, as dummies far and wide fail to understand that wires and plastic, combined with fire, can cause lots of melt and big boom. Of all the melting disasters though, this next one takes the cake. Or pizza, as it were. Yeah, always best to use a tray, and perhaps a higher quality pizza that doesn't completely disintegrate when cooked. Just a suggestion though. Also, another useful cooking tip for you here. When cooking pasta, it's usually best to have some water in the pan. That is, unless you prefer your pasta super al dente and smoky. Ruining dinner is one thing, but imagine being the mom who ruined Christmas when she accidentally cooked the family's elf on the shelf. Ah, nothing says Christmas like a roasted elf. Yep, after hiding the elf in there for her kids to find, she made the unfortunate mistake of forgetting about it when she preheated the oven, resulting in a tragic, albeit crispy, ending to this little elf. Parents versus technology is a tale as old as time itself, and when the two collide, stupidity is bound to occur. Exhibit A, this elderly woman who seems to be attempting to call someone whilst having the screen speakers facing the wrong way. Whoever's manager it is that she's speaking to, it's likely that she can't hear them. In a similar instance of elderly people not understanding technology, here's a truly tragic example. One woman posted this Facebook status upon the passing of her son, Shane. Whether the hysterical background was completely unintentional or if she thought the emojis were crying tears of sadness, we may never know. Either that or she just really didn't like her son. Social media can be challenging for the elderly to navigate though, as demonstrated by this old man who was attempting to sell his car. When asked to send a photo by a potential buyer, heavy implication on said photo being of the car, the old codger evidently assumed the prospective buyer wanted a picture of him. And what a great picture of him it is. I mean, if a bit of eye candy like that doesn't make you want to buy a car, then I don't know what will. On the topic of cars, this Dumbo was somehow unaware of the fact that cars aren't typically supposed to go downstairs, after assuming this underground footpath was the entrance into a parking garage. Doesn't seem too pleased to be having his photo snapped, does he? Yeah, you can't park there, I'm afraid, bud. In a similar state of confusion is this woman who clearly didn't get the memo that you're meant to take one basket, not the whole stack. Hey, these things can be difficult when you're completely blinded by your own entitlement. Umbrellas, on the other hand, you would assume are pretty self-explanatory, though as evidenced by this picture, apparently not. I mean, if only there were a gadget that was specifically designed to shield people from the rain. Now, of all the stupid stories I've read, and trust me, I've read a lot, this next one might take the prize. In early 2024, a woman from the UK came across an ailing hedgehog which she scooped up into a box and provided food for. However, as time went on and the hedgehog remained unresponsive, she grew concerned. But don't worry, the hedgehog wasn't dead. As a matter of fact, it was never alive in the first place, what with it being a furry pom-pom that had fallen off someone's winter hat. And doing 3 other episodes of this series, this has to be one of the greatest instances of stupidity that I have ever encountered. By far, the biggest demographic of people affected by stupidity is criminals. In order to be a successful criminal, you have to be very clever and careful to cover your tracks. And well, when this next bozo decided to steal his neighbor's package that had been left outside their door, he didn't quite think it through. I'm genuinely struggling here to comprehend how someone so dumb could actually exist. Needless to say that this chump's makeshift t-shirt balaclava didn't exactly conceal his identity from the doorbell cam. And considering this guy was a neighbor, it's hardly a mystery as to where he lives. Nice going, Einstein. But just when you thought there couldn't be a stupider way to conceal your identity, these two geniuses attempted to break into a man's house with markers scribbled all over their faces. Yep, that was their attempt at a disguise. Guilt was, quite literally, written all over their faces when they were shortly after pulled over by cops looking for two pen-faced men. Next up, we have prisoner Benjamin Schreiber, who was serving a life sentence in Iowa State Prison. However, after falling ill, he was transferred to a hospital where his heart stopped beating momentarily, meaning that he technically died before reviving. With that in mind, Benjamin then tried to argue that since he'd quote-unquote died, he technically served his life sentence. I think it goes without saying that this didn't work, but hey, gotta love a trier, right? And talking of acts that skirt the border of legality, check this out. This half-brained brute of a father took to Facebook to brag about shooting his daughter's laptop, which was actually school property, after discovering that she had been messaging boys. Because gun violence is a great way to foster a healthy relationship with your children. America, everybody! Heart goes out to the poor girl who had to return the laptop, or what's left of it, and explain how her dad is a brainless Neanderthal. I wonder how tough he felt when he had to shell out for the repairs. Now, the problem with stupid people, as we've seen, is their inability to consider the consequences of their actions. Case in point, this poor fellow who made the fatal error of attempting to skate on these wheeled boards, failing to realize that they'd likely force him into the splits. Even in this simple photo, moments before the ensuing disaster that occurred off screen, you can see the instant fear and regret in his eyes. Speaking of which, it's pretty hilarious that in the hours immediately following an eclipse that happened in early 2024, data showed that the amount of people who Googled, "Why do my eyes hurt?" dramatically increased. What a mystery. Moving on, there's nothing wrong with turning your hand to a bit of DIY, though some jobs are better left to the professionals. For instance, if you were thinking about chopping down a tree by yourself, then I'd urge you to watch this next clip.
Ooh, I got it. All right, so that wedge. Oh, it's falling. Oh no, it's on their feet. Oh no.
Oof. Thanks to him not calling in a professional, now he's got a tree to clear up and a presumably very angry neighbor who wants their fence replaced. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Likewise, whichever dummy is responsible for cutting holes through these joists for the HVAC system clearly didn't have a clue what they were doing. It goes without saying that cutting right through integral structural support beams isn't the wisest idea. In other construction calamities, some genius thought it might be a good idea to place a street lamp right at the entrance of someone's home. In fact, it's actually even worse than that. It turns out the house was built near the existing streetlight, and the construction company opted to plop the front door right next to it. Accessing that place with a wheelchair or stroller would virtually be impossible. Not to mention how dang ugly it looks. This is a special kind of stupidity. The kind that has clearly passed through several layers of people checking plans, reviewing, and approving work, and all saying, "Yep, looks good to me."
Me, little idiots! Idiots!
It seems different folks have different definitions of good enough. For another example of this next person's package initially got redirected to the sender due to the courier not following the delivery instructions to leave it in the trash can. In response, the next day, the homeowner left a handwritten note very curtly telling the courier to leave it in the trash can this time around. Now, you might be thinking the courier is the idiot in this situation, but not so. Here's the kicker. There was a very good reason the package wasn't left in the trash can to begin with. The package was bigger than the trash can itself. However, this time, given the sternness of the written note, the courier did exactly as they were told. And hey, the customer's always right, huh? And so our tour through the stupid Hall of Fame comes to an end. Bet you're feeling a whole lot smarter right about now, huh? But I want to know, What's the stupidest thing either you've done or witnessed someone else do? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch you next time.